Google is a master of manipulation. How is that safe? You think Google can't see that? It knows I have a conference. It knows where I live. It knows I have an agency. It knows how much money I have. Chiang Mai definitely attracts more black hat guys. 90% of conferences are not profitable. Most of them lose a lot of money.
Is that true?
If there's an algorithm, we can manipulate it. That's not me. I can't do that. There's so much misinformation about link building that it makes me sick. PBNs are safer than guest posts. Google's never said anything about this. There's no evidence for it.
Yes.
Can make everyone happy.
That small dinner changed my life. One AI tool that saved you hours.
I would need to be Bill Gates.
And what's your average ticket size?
We have plans to spend this morning, like an hour before things kicked off. On one side, it said CHAING, so it was Chiang Mai instead of Chiang Mai.
Oh!
My team sometimes complains that I'm a people pleaser because I really want everyone to be happy.
Probably.
I would never get from point A to point B if I was like...
I've seen your face for the first time. For the audience, tell them to watch this podcast and tell them that I'm the best guy you ever met. Hello everyone, welcome to my show. I'm Gundeep Singh and today I have a very special guest, Karl Kangur. Welcome to the show, Karl.
Thanks for having me.
So Karl hosts SEO Estonia, now also hosts the biggest SEO conference, which is SEO Conference Chiang Mai, right? And he also owns Smash Digital, which is a SEO agency. And they specialize into link building, if I'm not wrong, right? Karl, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, so like you said, I've been doing SEO for 16 years. I started 12 years old. These days, I run SEO Estonia, which is a conference I started many years ago, which is SEO conference in Europe. Then we have Chiang Mai SEO conference now, which I took over hosting 2 years ago from Matt Diggity. And then we have Smash Digital, which is our SEO agency where we specialize in high-end link building, and now AI optimization, ranking in AI as well. Yes. So those are the key things. And then I have like my personal portfolio on the side, which is more focused on like affiliate sites. I still have a bunch of them. A lot of them are crushed, but it still serves as like my kind of SEO testing playground, and where I can just nerd out and try different things. You know, kind of like Hal Roof said, like you don't want to be testing on your client sites. Yeah. So like those are the internal projects we do to kind of figure out like, okay, if we have to grow this, what are the strategies that work, which ones don't?
Perfect. Amazing. For the audience, for the record, I must tell how the flow of the podcast would be that we would be discussing about SEO. We would be discussing about the future trends of SEO and AI. And then we would talk about how he has been working. We would also talk about how the conferences and how he's managing conferences. What are the like key areas? We're going to talk a lot about conference and networking. And then we're going to talk about other stuff. So stay tuned till the end. You're gonna miss a lot of good stuff if you don't stick till the end. First, let's talk about SEO. You just said that you've got your own playground where you nerd out, where you can kind of experiment on your stuff. And then, so how's the process when you kind of research? How your day looks like when you talk about research? You might have certain days of that, right? Every day, or it's kind of an everyday stuff. So how do you research? What is your process of researching? Maybe what kind of SOP or mindset do you follow at that point? And then what is the experimental side of things? And then how you push that final bit towards your client side of things?
Yeah, so it's not like a daily process that it's kind of ongoing, right? Yeah. But it's more relevant when a big change comes. Okay. So like if we have a big core update and we see 50% of websites getting destroyed, then it's like, okay, well, what happened here? Who's still winning? What do they have in common, and kind of trying to reverse engineer that way? Mm-hmm. Like the most recent example would have been like AI coming out, right? Yeah. Like AI overviews, ChatGPT rankings, and so on. Yeah. And for me, like fundamentally, it's always like I feel like SEO has always been overcomplicated a lot, which I get it. It's a complex topic, thousands of ranking factors and so on and so forth. But you know that really matters when you're Amazon competing with Target. You have 2 billion pages, then every like 1-2% really matters. But does that matter for like a small to medium sized business owner? Probably not. Like you can get the fundamentals right and do really well and have a really good business. Mm-hmm. So then the question becomes, what are those fundamentals? Mm-hmm. Like if you don't understand those, then you know you're kind of wasting your time, wasting your resources. So with the link building side and why we do link building at the agency, It's like, if we look at, let's say, technical SEO, if we look at content, these are what I consider finite games.
Yes.
So if we have technical SEO or everything on site, you can have a score of 100. That's the maximum. You can't go over 110. If you follow all the best practices, it's an algorithm. If you have all the right numbers plugged in, you can't be 10 times better than me. And if we take your average, like, I don't know, WordPress site, Shopify site, out of the box, you're already at like 80 or 90 if you cover the essentials.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, then what? If two sites are identical, how do you decide then? So it's always kind of using logic and fundamentals. The same goes for content. You and I can write an article about the same topic. Can yours really be, like, if we both do a good job, can yours really be 10 times better? What I think is better and what you think is better, or what someone else thinks is better, can be completely different. You might like one style of writing, I might like another.
Yes.
If the information is the same, you can't win.
Yes.
So there has to be another deciding factor. Well, what is that? Well, it's almost always link building. Like, correct. That's been the fundamental part of Google, and that's what most sites are lacking the most. Like, if you look at any competitive industry, let's say, I don't know, credit cards or online casinos or whatever, it's these giant sites dominating, Forbes ranking for everything.
Exactly.
Well, if there was a special SEO magic trick with topical authority, where is a DR30 site ranking for mattresses? In the last 10 years, that's never happened, or they don't stay there.
That is true.
So, like, I look at it like a formula. Like, you multiply your on-page SEO, your content, and then by the end, when you add everything together, the score, and then you multiply it by your backlinks. If you have 0 links, you get an error.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't compute, right? so that was why we got into link building. Wow. And then the same when AI came out. First question in my head was like, well, how does this work? Like, how does the kind of technology underlyingly work? And then you end up at the conclusion, like, okay, well, for one part, it's language prediction.
Yes.
Like, that's literally how they're built. Training data, we read everything in the world, and then we're predicting the next word. The sky is blue. The sky is cloudy. Well, 70% of the time it's going to say blue because that's the most common sentence it's read. Yes. And then 20% of the time it might say sunny, rainy, cloudy, whatever. Yeah. But then, what do we do with that? Now, that's a very long game of, like, changing the training data. But if 1,000 articles say Chiang Mai SEO is the best conference, best SEO conference, then eventually, like, it becomes clear that is the consensus. Correct. And that's what's true. And the AI doesn't have the intelligence to decide, oh no, actually, like, there's this one factor you didn't think about. Yeah. So if we now publish 2,000 articles on this topic, eventually over time, the consensus is going to change. Correct. So then it's like, okay, that's one approach we can take. Yes. Now, the other part is, like, if we ask best SEO conference for, I don't know, SaaS companies, then it's like, okay, that's pretty complex. I'm going to do a search for this. So people, like, try and, like, screw around with this. Oh, it's RAG and all these fancy terms. Like, no, it's doing a search. It's literally doing a search. Exactly. So ChatGPT shows you the keywords, and then it says it's doing a search. And then if you compare the information to what's on Bing, for example, it's like, hey, it's pulling it from there. Yeah. Therefore, it's just SEO. Yes. Like, you still need to rank there. And the same big brands who are crushing it with AI are the same ones who've been crushing it with SEO, right? Exactly. That means we need to rank on the first page or in the top 3 pages, whatever, with as much content as possible, giving that answer. So we started cranking out these listicle pages, putting ourselves number 1. And then, very, very quickly, we started doing this beginning of 2025, like, more aggressively. Wow. And then in weeks, you can see AI overviews, Perplexity, Gemini. We were popping up in all of them for the key terms. And it's just so quick, easy, and measurable. You're crushing it. Like, it just works. It's so low competition. No one else is really doing it. Wow. You told the whole strategy here. Yeah. we're here to give value. That's great. That is Chiang Mai SEO. I think even your conferences is all about that, right? I've seen. I'm surprised to see the value we've been getting here.
every talk is, especially today as well, it was amazing value. I can be wrong, just correct me if I'm wrong. I think that Google is going back in the time when it was like 2012, 2013, when it was easier to do stuff. I think that that time is back because Google is so busy with getting the AI systems into place back again, and there's kind of a leverage or maybe ease, you can say, which you can see. And what do you think the ratio of link building is in the terms of importance? I think it's more than important now. What do you have to say on that?
I think it's been that way for a very long time. It's only been getting more important. Like,
yes.
I remember in 2015, 2016, 2017, and around then we had a ton of core updates coming out, and things got more difficult. Before that, a lot of our clients were like small businesses, like, oh, I have this niche shoe brand, and you still had a chance. And then over time, that's when Forbes started popping up and all these sites, and everyone coming up with these theories of like, okay, Google's targeting this, Google's targeting that. Our team is just looking at it, it's like, it's just sorted by domain rating now, basically. It's like they just turned up the importance on links.
Yes.
So bigger brands, bigger authorities started dominating. And now if we look at like the AI landscape, it's kind of the same thing. Like the biggest issue is that we're getting spammed with so much content.
Exactly. It's very easy now.
And it's all the same. There's no barrier to entry. Imagine this. Like when I was a kid, I would spin up 7 VPSs with GSA, and my KPI was how many links per minute can I build.
And if I'm not wrong, you started at 12.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, like, as a kid, I could automate this, and I'm not a technical guy. I could scale things up massively. Now imagine with AI, like AI websites, AI keyword research, MCPs, APIs, like make.com, all of this stuff, right? Like, you can take a really smart developer. If it was about, I don't know, topical authority and all these things, some developer nerd is going to be able to crank out 1,000 sites in a day with 1,000 pages with perfect clusters and all this. And like, if one of them ranks, he wins.
Yes.
Like, people are taking that strategy. How do you filter that? The only way you can filter it either by time. So we won't let new sites rank for 2 years. Well, then we can use expired domains, whatever. So like, you can't protect against it. What you can't protect against is real high quality links, because those are hard to fake. If you got a link from Forbes and 100 other high authority sites, well, you either spend a lot of money, which makes you more legit anyway, but you can't do that at scale to break the internet. And what Google's really trying to do, like, obviously they're trying to make money, but the fear they need to have is the dead internet theory. If content gets so bad, the internet is going to be useless, and then no one's going to use it. So that's what they're fighting against.
Exactly.
And site authority is the easiest way to kind of filter that out.
And I think the most easiest way to, even in the LLMs, is the way to go is about the links and the freshness. I think freshness is about the content, and the links, the number of, like, if the PR and the links is also helping you in the LLMs, right? To come in ChatGPT is, I think, the most easiest is to, you gotta get good links. Am I right?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. So Ahrefs did a big study about this with the highest correlated ranking factors for AI overviews.
Yeah.
And in the top, it was brand mentions, branded anchor text, referring domains, and so on and so forth. It's like, yeah, sure, it's brand mentions, but the reason it's brand mentions is number one, because there's also unlinked mentions.
Exactly.
So, like, naturally, there's just going to be more of them. But ultimately, it's about links.
Yes.
So that's one side. If you have a lot of branded links, you have a lot of links in general, you'll be more likely to be selected as a company, as an entity that they already know of.
Okay.
But then the other side is like, okay, you could also have kind of less of them, but you might be pulled from an article that is respected. So if Forbes lists me as the number one, even if it's not linked, Forbes is trusted enough where you get that citation from, let's say, being number one in the listicle.
Do you think then, I think big organizations, big companies have more chance now than ever on being on the top or getting more coverage than a small business? Like, you just took an example of mattress just 2 minutes ago about, like, you've never seen a DR30 mattress site ranking on the competitive keywords these days. Is it becoming easier, or is it becoming harder for a small enterprise to win over the competitive scenario?
It depends. The classic SEO answer. One reason is that it's so dynamic. Like, let's say ChatGPT, for example, it knows I have a conference. It knows where I live. It knows I have an agency. So it knows how much money I have. It knows everything about me. So it's like,
probably
if I search for a link building agency, it kind of already knows what it's for and what I'm looking for and what my budget is. So if I ask for the best agency, the top 10 is going to give me, if I'm logged in, is very different than what it's going to give you. And the same, now imagine it's like, I'm a, I don't know, 55-year-old woman and I'm looking for a hairdresser, like the recommendations are personalized. It might be very different. So like, there's a more diverse selection of businesses that are now going to get some attention.
Okay.
And the other side of it is that, we don't search the same way anymore.
Exactly.
Like, people are not going best SEO agency. They might start with that and then go, hey, actually, I've got a SaaS business.
Yes.
And then, now it's completely different. And then it's like, oh, my budget's only $1,000 a month. Now it cuts half of the list again.
Yes.
So everyone kind of, that gets more opportunities.
Yes.
And because of this also, like, if you look at how it breaks out query fan out and these concepts, it breaks it down into smaller keywords. Well, now people like who come to places like this, we're going to figure out how those keywords are generated. Those are going to be so much more specific and long tail, so that, the smaller brands are now going to be able to tap into those because they're going to increase in search volume.
Yes.
And then get more attention in the end.
Yes. That's a very nice answer. Now let's talk about what you have to say on PBNs, if you want to talk about that. Do you prefer working on PBNs? Do you do that kind of stuff, or it's just not your take?
So honestly, like, Google is a master of manipulation. Imagine you were Google, you would be doing all the same things they're doing. Like, if your problem is people creating better content and you penalize a bunch of websites, call it the helpful content update, what are they going to focus on? They're going to try and create better content, so you win. That's what they want. Yes. That doesn't mean that was the reason or that's what they actually did. And the same goes for PBNs. So PBNs, I think it was 2011, 2012, when easy blog networks got taken down and like so many were de-indexed, and everyone was like, PBNs are dead. But people got so scared of doing it, like no one's touched them anymore. They've always worked. They've never stopped working. Everyone who's kept doing it are still winning with it. We don't use a lot of it. We might for like tier 2s or some shady industries or to boost up things like parasites. But I genuinely believe PBNs are safer than guest posts. At least the standard definition of guest posts, because everyone's going to the same sponsors we have here and then hitting them up. You have a big database that gets emailed to every single site owner.
And that's all link farms.
The prices are there. The footprints are massive. There's databases you can look up and see 17 link sellers are selling the same site. Here's the prices. If we can find it in seconds, and I can identify a site just by gut feel. You open up the most recent article, 700 words, one exact match anchor, like, how is that safe? You think Google can't see that?
Of course. Obvious. It's sometimes so obvious.
PBNs are actually private. Most of them are still very well hidden, and less people are using them, so it's actually a much safer approach, and it works amazing. Yes. There are a lot of sketchy sellers who use low-quality domains that don't really do that much, but if you do your homework, or you do PBNs like you were supposed to do them, actually have them private and build them yourself, they work incredibly well.
I think I have the same take. We've built our own kind of PBN, and it's so better than taking like link farm guest posts. Like, you've been into quality side of link building from the start. I still remember in 2021 when I asked you about, I was trying to sell you links, by the way, at that time. We were in the elevator, I still remember, and you told me we don't buy links from outside. That was your answer, I still remember that. What I'm trying to ask is that, what do you think about, like, when you ever go out and see for links or, try to get links, 90% of the time, it's all junk. It's all link farms you come across. There's some random guy, which is emailing you, and there's a list, as you just said, and it's all pricing is up there. They're massive footprints. That is all very obvious stuff. And it's very hard sometimes for us to explain it to the clients as well, that this is not we need to do. So can you just tell for the audience what is quality stuff? Any example maybe, and how you quantify maybe that this is a quality link, maybe what kind of outreach you've been doing, or even if it's PBN, doesn't matter. But what is the quality metrics? What is your checklist on a quality link? Like, this is 5 things we see, and we quantify it as a very quality kind of link or article or maybe a post from where you got to take the link?
There's so much misinformation about link building that it makes me sick. And I get it because there's so many link sellers. It's the easiest way to make money in SEO, but that means everyone is biased. So all these fake metrics were basically invented by link sellers. So like when the databases first came out, the marketplaces, you can buy a guest post. We have 10,000 sites. Well, all of us had the same 10,000 sites. And then one guy starts going, hey, we sell links with traffic. And suddenly, out of nowhere, that becomes a metric. It's like, Google's never said anything about this. There's not a single patent. There's no evidence for it. But it was a unique selling proposition for that one seller. And then everyone started, like, parroting off it, right? Now, when it comes to our like, principles regarding link building, Travis Jameson is the founder of Smash Digital originally. And I really liked his mindset, business-wise. He's extremely successful, has, like, 17 companies. And one of his companies was called Moat VC. And the idea was building a moat around the business. How do we protect this business? And the key issue with SEO businesses for a long time was that if I look at your backlink profile, you have 200 guest posts. I can pull it up in Ahrefs. I know you paid for each one of those links. I can replicate your backlink profile in a month.
Exactly.
Because I can just buy all the same sites and more. And you're done. Like, what is going to stop someone from taking over you? Absolutely nothing. So then our key focus was, how do we build the hardest links possible? What is the hardest thing for people to replicate that other people can? So the number one criteria we look for in links is that they're real websites that don't sell links. So that means we just need to come up with creative angles on how to make it a win for them. So that might be by creating a guest post that's 5 times longer than normal and matches their tone of voice perfectly, has internal links, and ranks for a keyword that actually makes them money. So that's like a night and day different proposal. We're trying to help them get more clients. And then if they get a win, they don't care how many links are in the post or who we're linking to, because it makes sense for them no matter what. So that was kind of the fundamentals of the strategy. And now you can reverse engineer our entire backlink profile. There's nothing you can do about it. You might know all the sites, but they won't talk to you. And then for there, we stack it with relationships. So now we got one link from the site. We'll keep that relationship up. And because of the agency, we have economies of scale. One site, one relationship is worth more than one client. We can use it for many different clients, many different relationships. And now I could come to your SEO team and say, hey, I can get you on this site and you'll pay me back on 2 other sites. And or with like a head of SEO at a big SaaS company. So then we're just compounding these favors and doing these kind of like high-end exchanges, and that's been working really well for us.
Got it. I'm really impressed with the line you just said, that we try to do the hardest possible thing. It's a very good strategy. I think you talk about real websites, maybe long form content, the content which is not possible to kind of replicate when you talk about link farm guest posts, and obviously the websites you're building relationships, right? You've been building relationships on the websites for link building, right? But I think relationships is something which is quite important to you when it because you're also doing conferences, right? And I think conferences is all about relationships, or I'm trying to understand it in my own way, right? So do you think there's a correlation between your digital side of your work, your link building, Smash Digital, and your conferences in terms of, does it overlap somewhere?
Yeah, 1,000%. That was my entire kind of keynote at Chiang Mai SEO, is that every success I've had in my life can be tied back to a conference in some way. And you never know what it's going to be. Like, the talks are nice, they're impressive, you learn a lot, but that's not why we go to conferences. Like, the first conference I ever went to proved to me, starting in Estonia, working on Black Hat World and online, not knowing anyone, that in the real world, there's people who are crushing it, doing the same thing I'm doing. So that changes the motivation and my output and opens up a whole world of possibilities. And then after that, I was ready to sell a site. Someone at a conference helped me sell it for 3 times more money. That's happened twice now.
Wow.
At different conferences a year apart. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars extra because I met the right person at some kind of party. But then the other side is like, where's the real information? Like, anyone can publish an article. People make all these claims on social media, on X, LinkedIn, whatever. Especially now, it's all like AI content. And even I might publish like some AI slop on my LinkedIn to try and get views. But if I come here and talk to you, you're getting the real information.
Exactly.
You know, we're talking in a much different level. And that's what happens in the conferences. Yes. And when you show up over and over again, you make those real relationships that last. Exactly. So now when I have a question, you know, I can hit up someone like James Dooley or Mikkel Suski from Surfer and be like, Mikkel, like, there's so many on-page tools and I did this and my score's this, but like this page is not working. What do you think I should do? And he will look at it. And he's not going to charge me for it because we've known each other for years. Exactly. Or the same, like, you know, after events like this, I'm sure we're both in many like WhatsApp groups. Exactly. Where people after a conference stay in touch. And now it's like, let's say I want to dabble in parasite SEO. I think that's the direction I need to take it for some of my clients or projects. I can jump in the group. I'm trusted, respected because I show up and help others, connect others. And I'm like, anyone got a list? And someone's going to hit me up with, here's 2,000 sites you can use. Yeah. You know, that's saving you potentially hundreds, if not thousands of hours of resources. Correct. And all of those little things compound, you know, when strategies become mainstream, the people in rooms like this have already burned through them. Correct. Like by the time the general public knows about CTR manipulation, like people have been milking it for like 4 years. Yes. And these are the rooms where you find out about those.
I found out about CTR manipulation at Chiang Mai conference last
exactly.
week. Yeah. And I've been pretty much doing it. Okay. So I would definitely agree to you that conferences, you've been the host of the conference and I've been a participant of the conference. So it's a very interesting discussion, I must say. Now, according to me, I always vouch for conferences. First of all, I've always been saying this thing again and again and again, that you should be at conferences. It is one of the things which have changed my life. I've just said in the starting of the podcast. Now, you being as a host, you being in Chiang Mai, you live here in Chiang Mai, right? Yeah. So I was having a podcast with Charles Flood, and I asked him that why are you in Chiang Mai? Well, like, and he says it's about the community. It's about the SEO base kind of, that every and we're partying with people. We are with the best SEOs in the world are here. So it's all about the community and it's all about the commotion. But now my question is, how is being in Chiang Mai helping you maybe stay in the network, staying in the right place as an organizer of such big conference and conferences, I must say, because it's multiple. You also do SEO Estonia, you own that, right? Do you think the trend of conferences is going up? Do you think we being host of these conferences is helping you particularly in any way? I just want to know insights about you and your take on the as a host of the conferences.
Yeah, absolutely. So conferences for me, like I do it for the fulfillment. Mm-hmm. Like it's a lot more gratifying than building an affiliate site or you know, when's the last time a client came to me and said, "Hey, thanks, Karl, you killed it. You changed my life." Like that doesn't happen. That happens in conferences all the time.
Exactly.
So like it's this like personal mission. Like they changed my life, so I want other people to kind of benefit from that. Okay. I definitely benefit as well. Like, you know, starting SEO Estonia, we got tons of clients for the agency from that just by being seen as kind of the leader in the industry.
Okay.
Is it comparable to what we've gotten through our email list or Facebook ads? No, it's more like a bonus on top. But I think it definitely impacts our brand and like, I don't know, being seen as a thought leader or expert, whatever, like I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
But it comes back to the connections. Like, you know, when I'm putting together the lineup for Chiang Mai SEO or in SEO Estonia both, through the year, I look at like 500 people who could be speakers. Yes. And I'm reaching out to all of them. I'm having conversations with all of them. So now I have a reason to contact some of the best in the industry.
Yes.
And many of those people have now become friends. And it's, again, kind
the
of
relationships.
New relationships that normally I wouldn't maybe have the courage to kind of jump into or wouldn't have an excuse to jump into. And then, you know, that pays out in insane ways alone. Then it's the same with the sponsors. You know, we have like companies like PressWiz, Ahrefs, SimilarWeb, tons of others, exactly. Fat Show. And it's like I have direct access to their team. And now, again, we have that relationship where I can talk to them. And it's a different vibe than, you know, sending a cold email or a support ticket.
I even think you might agree with me that many people at the conferences who come are capable at some point of their life to become a speaker as well, right? We've seen that live examples. Do you have any examples to share, like people who were as a participant for the first year, 2 year, 3 years maybe, actually became a speaker and got a good name for themselves? Any example for that?
Yeah, we had a speaker this year. One of my good friends, Neil Z.
Yeah,
He used to be a big SEO guy, crushing it with
he came to the
affiliates
podcast.
in foreign markets.
Yeah,
He got hit by the helpful content update, and now he did talk about how he pivoted to
yeah.
PPC and is crushing with that instead.
Yes, yes,
And like he only started speaking in last year, I believe.
yes,
But he got there because he's got a good story to tell. He actually did it. He's got the proof to back it up.
yes,
He's qualified to talk about it.
yes,
And he's just naturally a good speaker. Honestly, that is a big part of it.
yes.
Like Kyle Roof always says, people don't remember what you tell them. They don't remember the content. They remember how you make them feel.
Exactly.
So like the big issue a lot of first timers have, which might work at a smaller conference but not Chiang Mai, is that if you've never done it before, if you've never practiced anything, you're not going to be that good at it. Exactly. So if you're going on stage and like looking back at your slides and you forget what you're trying to say, yeah, like no one's going to take you seriously, and that just looks bad on both you and the conference. Yeah. So even if it's the best content in the world, it's a craft that you need to practice, an art. Yes. And as an organizer, like I need to vet for that.
Yes.
So
yes.
I need to make sure you're going to be comfortable on stage. So make sure you send a video pitch.
Okay.
You rehearse. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You rehearse it. You have something to show me that you've done it. And also, like, we can't make a decision based on a title. Most of the pitches I get is like, here's my bio. I'm a really good SEO. They should send me zero proof of that. Then they send me one title. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Like, it's like clickbait on Twitter. It doesn't mean anything until you say, hey, here's what I'm going to show you. Here's the proof that it works. And here's why I should be talking about it. In fact, here's a video of me talking about it. Like now it's a completely different decision. But most people think they like the idea of speaking, but they're not willing to put in the work. Like many of our speakers, they practice their slides hundreds of times.
It is visible, yes, yes. Yeah. Especially Robert, I just saw his talk. It was his arms when he was moving. I look around the very small things. I look into the details. So I was actually, it was very visible that he's practiced a lot. He's done his homework a lot. It's not like he's just like second, 10 times. He even knew that where he has to point. We just talked about the pointing, right? And okay, now let's talk about this in more detail about the quality. Like, see, if you have to pull a conference for one time, I think it's an easier job to do. But to do consistently it for years, and then obviously multiple conferences in two different continents, how do you maintain the quality? You just talked about vetting. You just talked about vetting the speakers, but so you got to maintain the quality. You got to maintain the versatility of the content, right? And you got to decide that like Thursdays and Fridays are kind of the big stages, right? So I want to know that how do you decide that this is going to be a big stage? This is going to be so. What is your kind of back end story about that?
Honestly, choosing the speakers and their position is just something that comes naturally over time. Okay. Like I've been coming here since the first conference. Mm-hmm. I've attended many other SEO conferences. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of experience from how Matt's done it before, and we can bounce ideas back and forth. I know other organizers, mm-hmm. So we've kind of tested what works, what not. But more importantly, like I've been an attendee. I know how I feel on Thursday morning. I know by the end of the day I'm tired, so I'm not going to be able to listen to a highly technical talk. So all of these things are kind of piled together, and then it's like if we have two black hat talks on the same day, that doesn't work. If we have two workshops running same time and they're in the same topic, it's a hard choice for people. So then we try to balance it in so many different ways. There's a lot of nuance that goes to it, and you just kind of get a feel for it when you try and put yourself in the kind of attendee shoes.
Wow! So even the talk at what time, which talk would happen, and it should not coincide with something where people have difficulty to choose. Even that is planned.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Alright, time for a sponsor break. This episode is proudly sponsored by Kings Digital, the marketing agency that I, your host, Gundeep Singh, co-founded. At Kings Digital, we specialize into scaling businesses, optimizing growth strategies, and turning your ideas into brands that people can't stop talking about. You might be thinking self-promotion in your own podcast? Well, that's quite bold. That's because that's exactly what we do for our client. Bold strategies that bring results. So if you're a business owner or an agency wants to level up your marketing, your processes, whether it's SEO, ads, social media, performance marketing, we're building a killer brand presence for you. If you want us to audit your website or your ads campaign, just fill up the form below. We will get back to you with a full-blown SEO audit, a complete 6 to 12 months SEO roadmap tailored to your business, and a step-by-step video walkthrough breaking down exactly how to fix and scale your organic traffic. This isn't some cookie cutter checklist. Trust me, our team spends an entire day crafting this report. Trust me, if we're good enough to sponsor ourselves, we're probably good enough to help you crush your goals. Alright, that's enough of us now. Now let's get back to the show. When I see this conference, it is one of the most organized conferences I've visited. Other than SU, I've been visiting other conferences like maybe the business stuff and all that, lead gen. I've seen this as a very organized conference, like especially this room. You've just thought of it and it's there, right? Congratulations, it's perfect, by the way, and it's obviously helping me as well. So, but what I'm trying to say on this is, so do you have kind of a team who plans? Is it a hierarchy? Like there is a departmentalization, like this guy would handle this guy would handle the sponsors, this guy. So how is that happening? How's the team structuring on the conference?
Yeah, I could not do any of this without my team. My team are the real superheroes. Anytime someone comes to me and is like, "Hey, thanks for the conference," I'm like, "Go thank Holly," or like, "Go thank my business partners in Estonia,"
Okay.
because all the operations, the logistics, that's not me. I can't do that. Like for me, it's very much the kind of vision and some of the decisions for Chiang Mai. A lot of that was already in place, so credit to Matt on that.
Yeah.
But like I'm really thinking about like, hey, people are doing podcasts. We should have a room like this to make it easier, so they don't have to do it in the lobby, and that ties in with our marketing, whatever.
Yes.
Or like Thursday mornings, people are hungover. Wouldn't be good if we had like IV drip and hangover pills for them.
Yeah.
Like it's really just like I come up with the ideas and then we have a superstar team that implements it.
Yes.
And like Holly is the best event manager in the world. She's super organized. We have 3 other event managers who help to our local, who are here dealing with the venues and all this, helping scout venues. We go visit them together. And then, yeah, the teams are pretty massive. You know, the production, that's a professional company that does this for 40,000 people events.
Wow.
And all of these teams need to work together and operate. We all compare like putting together a conference is kind of like, imagine putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle while running a marathon. Like, it's tricky, and my brain is not built that way. My brain is like, okay, we got a problem. What do we do about this? Well, wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't this be cool? And then we have the people who actually execute and make it happen.
Yes, because I've seen like from the last years, I've been seeing that there's always something new, like in terms of arrangements. Like I could see this year that obviously the IV part. I also saw that CBD kind of refreshments, which was very surprising to see. I could see more stalls than last year, like more sponsors. I think the arrangements, like last year I could see the 2. I think Ahrefs and Smash Digital, of course. This year it's more. Which is people are very happy about the goodies, by the way, and I can see that people coming from all across the globe as your supportive staff, right? So I asked one of them, by the way, she was from Pakistan. I asked her about that. How did you? So she told me that I filled up a form. There was a system to get into it. So this guy called Sunil. He's very helpful. So I think this is something you every year you kind of iterating. So it's not like there's one roadmap. There's one block which is like made and it's gonna like be copy pasted every year. Obviously there are things which are helping you from the last year, like the whole thing, it's not easy to pull off, but it's like you're iterating and moving on and improvising on at the conferences as well, that way, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like we have 800 people here, so it's a lot to manage, but we really care. Like we really need them to have a good time, and so they come back.
Yes.
And we want to have a good time too.
Yes.
So like I always prioritize feedback and asking people like, what do you think could be done better? And sometimes the answers aren't that helpful because everyone's different, right? Yes. You can't make everyone happy. Exactly. Someone's going to be cold. Someone's going to be hot. Someone's going to love the food. Someone's going to hate it. Nothing I can do about that. Yes. But then I can go, maybe we should have a little bit more options. Can we? Is it possible? And then we go from there. Yes. But like ultimately, it's a business like any other. And one of the keys to a successful business is processes. Yes. So if we do the same venue every year, we have those processes. And if we make a mistake, we learn from that, we change the process, and now our energy can go somewhere else. And then obviously having a rockstar team that can do that consistently is a big thing.
Can you tell me about any mess up, which is maybe your backend stuff, which at the conference happened maybe this year or last year, which is not publicly visible, but in the backend it happened, or maybe you want to discuss something which you fixed it maybe?
This year's there's literally been nothing. Everything has been super smooth. There's one tiny thing. We have the 2 screens on the side, and then we have the main stage. And I think we noticed it this morning, like an hour before things kicked off. And it was just that on one side, it said CHAING. So it was Chiang Mai instead of Chiang Mai. It was like a misspelling thing.
Oh!
But it was like...
At the whole stage.
Yeah. And then someone came with tape, fixed it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this year's been super smooth. But of course, there's lots of mess ups, like miscommunications around food or someone being late. Like things happen. MC says something wrong, sends people to the wrong place. Like everyone's human, it happens. But
of course.
Yeah, this year has been flawless so far.
Okay, and how do you handle such? Yes, God bless. And how do you kind of handle such? Anything happens, are you the guy who is kind of you look very serious. I'm very surprised in this podcast when you start talking, it's very different. Whenever I've been communicating with you, you've been a very serious guy, and I'm surprised in the podcast the way you talk is very much different, the way you've been like roaming around. I just want to know, as a leader, what kind of leader are you, or do you want me to frame more questions on this?
Honestly, I have no idea. I probably should ask my team about that. I'd like to think I'm really chill, but I don't know how true that is. My team my team sometimes complains that I'm a people pleaser because I really want everyone to be happy. So maybe that's how you that's one thing. That's one thing that really like annoys them. And I care about the little details. So definitely I create a lot of work for them, but I don't think I'm very like strict or hard on anyone.
Okay.
I really care about everyone being happy, everyone doing work they love. Yeah, just making sure everyone has a good time. And I feel like that's my core value when it comes to the team as well. Okay. That you should be doing a job you love. You should take pride in it. You should enjoy it. And that's how you get the best results out of it.
Okay.
Now, the serious space side, like that's... I think that comes from being Estonian. Estonians are known for being relatively cold. Yes. So like that's more of a resting bitch face thing. Yes. But the other side of it as well is like, I do care a lot and I have different things to do here and different things to check on. And if I put that on, no one stops me and I can just kind of, get to where I need to get to. But when you see me at the after party later on, that's a very different vibe, right? Yes. So if it's like, imagine I'm running here to be on time for you at 3. If I'm go there smiling, I will get 7 handshakes on the way and we'll just not make it here. Yeah. Especially at an event like Chiang Mai, there's 800 people. I know many of them. I want to catch up with everyone, but I would never get from point A to point B if I was like...
I've seen your face for the first time. Okay. I want to know about the diversity. You run 2 conferences, 2 most successful SEO conferences in the world you've been running, right? One is SEO Estonia and one is SEO Chiang Mai. What is the difference of diversity of people and also the speakers you've seen on this? Especially, let's talk about the people first. I want to know the in-depth analysis because I know you're a very analytical guy. So I want to know those analytics of the differences of 2 conferences in terms of first the people who visit. What is your insights on that?
So the biggest thing that I think separates these 2 conferences from everything else, at least the mainstream options, is that it's really SEO entrepreneurs. It's like business owners, decision makers. Like if you compare it to something like Brighton, like that's where you send your low-level team to kind of watch the talks, learn something, and get some clients, right? Like here, everyone's kind of a baller and like living and breathing SEO. Yes. So SEO Estonia and Chiang Mai SEO both live and breathe by that, and those are the people we try to attract. Now, when it comes to the audiences, I'd say both are around, let's say 30% ish on the agency side. Okay. And then the rest is a really mixed bag, and it's hard to know before it would say it was like another 30% would be affiliates, and then you would have 20% kind of like, the local rank and rent, and that type of guys, and then 10% random like SaaS and whatever.
Wow.
But now we've opened up to not just return attendees because we sell out. This year and last year as well, we kind of send out an email to everyone so more people get a chance. So this year we have a lot of new attendees that have never been before.
Yes, I can see that.
And we don't really know where they're from yet. Yeah. So we'll see that in the feedback form. Also, a lot of the affiliate guys have been obviously hit. They're less interested. They're trying to figure stuff out. They're pivoting. So maybe that crowd is kind of missing.
Yes.
On the Estonia side, there's one kind of caveat that is more different, is that, and Chiang Mai definitely attracts more black hat guys. So there's the whole like.
Is that true?
Like a fair bit compared to most other conferences.
But why?
I think originally it was more of a topic, and we shared a lot of information that wasn't available elsewhere, and we're really about like the truth. We're okay to talk about whatever works, which many conferences are like, oh, that's black, and like we don't label it. We're like, here's what works, and here's what we can learn from it.
Yes,
we're not saying you should do it, but you should know that this is happening.
Yes. It's all unfiltered when it comes to the knowledge.
Yes. So I think there's a fair bit of that in Chiang Mai, and SEO Estonia is kind of a special area that I don't see in many other conferences. Is that Estonia is a big like startup tech country, so it attracts a lot of like VC backed companies. Like we started Skype, we started TransferWise, we started Bolt. So you get a lot of companies like that. Like Wise coming with their enterprise SEO team of like 14 people. Like that's a very different type of attendee. So it attracts a lot of different countries. We had 32 different countries last year. So then you also get like the French affiliates, the German affiliates, or like local SEOs. So you get a slightly more diverse audience there, maybe.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about diversity of geos of people. Like for example, I can assume in Chiang Mai you might have more Indians, more people from South Asia coming towards in Chiang Mai SU conference. More, I see a lot of Polish people and Estonians as well here. Especially last time, it was full of Estonians, right? And in this year, I have met my friends here as well from the last year, and it was so good to meet people who come again. So I want to talk about the number of what do you see in terms of diversity of the geos? Like, do you see more South Asians here? Is Asian regions here? Do you see in Estonia more Europeans, French people more there? How is that?
It's just super diverse. There's really no...
Okay, and there's no metrics.
And I don't really judge by it. Like, I don't really care.
No, but we should, as a metrics, if you, like...
Yeah, like, honestly, I don't look at it. Okay, like, people are people. If you're good at SEO, I want you here.
Of course.
What country you come from, like, I don't really pay attention to it as much.
Of course.
But yeah, it's people from all over the world. People come here from Brazil. They come here from New Zealand.
Costa Rica. I met someone from Costa
Rica, China, Poland, Estonia, Finland, Norway, UK. Like we have people from all over the world.
And you know what's
That's the same for both countries.
You know what's the beauty of this is that this is my personal take on this is that you're in the same industry, SEO. You live and breathe by SEO. This is your bread and butter. And everybody's so welcoming. Yesterday I went to a party. Everybody was from Bulgaria, Poland, or Estonia last night, and everybody's so welcoming. And the best part is that we are so diverse in terms of culture, in terms of language, in terms of the way we live, maybe. But we talk about the same thing, and it's so easy to build relationships. And I think that's the biggest beauty of an international conference, and especially this conference. That is why I was asking basically that being on very different side of globe, being on a very different cultures, being on a very different language and lingo, but still you do the same thing, maybe different ways, but almost SEO, obviously, right? And so you build up so quickly. I've seen no one whom I've gone to talk to has shown any kind of resistance. No one. In last 3 years, no one. I always go to someone. Even I've seen in the networking parties, you just even in outside after the talks, you talk to anybody, you say hey, you start conversating.
You can walk up to anyone. You see a group of 5 people standing, you walk next to them, say, hey, can I join you guys? They'll always say yes.
And it's always a good story. There's no biasness. There's no kind of like yesterday I was standing in like there were 7 people from, I think they were from Bulgaria. I was the only one, and it's not like that he's someone else. It's so good. I was so happy about yesterday, and I've seen the whole city from a very different lens, because I think kudos to you. Every day the party, the night party is on a very different location, and we can kind of get to see everything. I think even you plan that, like on the opening party is usually soft, good location, chill vibe, and the last day, the last party is always kind of the crazy party, right? Even that's planned, right?
Of course, I want to blow off some steam after everything's done. That's for me. That's my party.
So intricate. Everything is so much kind of, it's not random stuff. It's all the way you've been, like your team, and you've been like kind of planning it, right? And I think that this roadmap works in another conference as well. And from the takeaways from SEO Estonia conference also works here, right? And you do visit other conferences, right? You do go to
yeah. I've been to many in my life, and like the concept for SEO Estonia was just taking the best parts of each of them and trying to put it together. Yeah. So Kyle as well, he's my partner on it. He's been to over 100. So he's like, I like this, I like this, I love this. I had my list, and we're like, okay, let's make the ultimate conference. That was the goal.
Perfect.
And what like people don't realize is that everything here happens for a reason.
Yes. That's like, why I was touching this.
There's always like people who are like, you can make an exception for this. Please get a ticket for me. And it's like, no, there's a fire regulations we need to follow, and this rule and this contract. It's like, can we just bring this? Like, no, the hotel won't allow us. Why don't you have this? Because the hotel let us do this. Like, there's rules and laws and many things to follow, or the same of like, why is the Monday shorter, for example? Well, it's because everyone has different interests. If we pack the Monday full as well, one, you'll get tired of the talks really quickly. Exactly. But then if someone wants to talk about Reddit marketing, Reddit marketing might not be relevant enough for 800 people to put on the main stage. Yes. But if now someone has the time to do a meetup on the Monday morning, exactly. And someone else can do a SaaS meetup, an AI workshop, like whatever. Yeah. So making sure everyone has the space to get whatever they want.
Yes. When I landed on Sunday, I was looking at the agenda. I was so happy that, Monday is starting late. So it's kind of free time in the morning, and, so I can get it. It's all for the reason, right? And Thursdays and Fridays are full packed. So that's also for a reason.
Yeah, and we start 10:30 because the parties are important. That's where you make your best friends and sign up clients who are drunk. So if we start at 8 a.m., no one's going to be there.
Correct. That's very true. That's very true. Okay. So I just want to ask you one last question on the conferences. Are conferences profitable business to do? Is it a business for us to do, or is it a profitable business to do?
90% of conferences are not profitable. Most of them lose a lot of money. I'd say the average conference loses between $50,000 to $100,000, depending on the size of it. Uh-huh. There's a lot of expenses that go into it. Mm-hmm. Imagine something like, I think the first year we did SEO Estonia, we had a coffee machine that worked on capsules, and we got charged for every single coffee.
That's very expensive.
And if you do that in a 5-star hotel, that's like $6 a coffee.
Yeah,
or at least $4, whatever. Yeah, it's like this is like my 4th coffee today, and like many attendees are going to be doing the same thing. Yeah. So like that alone is going to cost us tens of thousands of dollars. Or like doing in a hotel, 5-star hotel, the food, the lunch, everything, like many times a day, all these things add up. It takes us a year to plan the event. The SEO Estonia team total, like there's 60 people involved.
60 people?
Through, like, including the production company and videographers, and like everyone wants to get paid. You think the photographers are free? Like, no. And then they charge like event rates, because it is like a business thing, right? And then many times you need to support the speakers. If you do a you sell a ticket, there's a 2% fee goes from there. You got to pay taxes. Like, there's a million things that go into it. It's very difficult to pull off. So it's not like a business I would recommend doing for the sake of making money. That's not why you do it.
Yes, that's
what it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of stress. But if you love doing it, it is fun. Like, that is the cool part for me.
Yeah.
It's like, getting to see people happy, making relationships, so on and so forth. But also, like, getting to do something real that's physical instead of online stuff. That's a big perk for me. But also, it's, some of it is fun. Coming up with different games for the networking nights, or like, hey, like on the stage, we can make this thing a joke and do that and play this movie. And like, it's just creative. Yeah. And in SEO, I don't have anything creative to do, right? Yeah. Maybe beyond like an outreach email.
Yes. Okay. You give a very good answer to this. Are you planning to kind of expand the conference to more locations, or no?
No chance.
No chance.
If you ever hear me say that, then give me a slap and tell me to wake up. Like I said, it takes a lot of work. Primarily, I'm still an SEO guy.
Yeah.
And we have a real business to run as well.
Of course. Last year, it was such a cool party. I still remember the vibe. It was all dark, and there was a Smash Digital logo, which is kind of a very funny unicorn with a unicorn donkey, I think, right? That's kind of the logo. Why is that logo? What's the story behind it, if you can tell me?
Honestly, there was no big story. Travis is a big angel investment guy. So in there, it's kind of always hunting for unicorns. Like the unicorns are the billion-dollar companies.
Oh, I know.
So then, and it's also the symbol of something special. And with the agency, we've always kind of been special. We've always been the weird one out. Like, we're not doing the same thing everyone else is doing. So it kind of came from there. Right. And then over time, like, people love it. Like, our stickers are famous, our notebooks, and it's just like a cool character.
I took
and
it's for my stuff.
It served us as a good mascot for many years, and I think we'll be keeping it for a long time. Yeah, it's very recognizable.
Yeah, that is why I asked. It is quite cool. Okay, let's do the rapid fire round, and then I'll let you go finally. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. One SEO tool every beginner should master.
The one SEO tool everyone should master is definitely Ahrefs, because it's the foundation of everything. Keyword research, finding competitors, seeing competitiveness levels for keywords, seeing what links people have. Like, it's always been like the biggest crawler after Google. You have the most data. If you learn to use that, like, I gave Ahrefs a testimonial ages ago. I think it's still on the homepage. Like, as an SEO, it might as well be my homepage, like my new tab page. It has everything you need.
Yes.
And when it comes to SEO, like, the answers are always on the first page, and Ahrefs gives you easy access to that with all the data.
Yes. And I was very happy with the talk on Ahrefs. Like, we could see the upcoming stuff, and it's a very good investment, by the way. We're very happy as an agency using Ahrefs. Okay, one metric that actually matters.
The one SEO metric that actually matters is whether you rank or not. Everything else is fluff. We can talk about domain rating, keywords, content score, whatever. If you're not in the top 10, if you're not in the top 3, you don't exist. You don't know what you're talking about. Or it may take more time, but everything else is just like following action.
Yeah. Okay. One AI tool that saved you hours.
One AI tool that saved me hours would be ChatGPT. I don't really use a lot of individual tools. For me, the goal was to really like master ChatGPT, at least for my purposes. I'm far from an expert, but my ChatGPT knows everything about me, my businesses.
But that's the best part.
Every business has its own ChatGPT project. There's a lot of custom instructions, files, and then I also use projects to build custom tools. So, for example, if I need to write newsletters, there's a project that knows every newsletter I've ever written, my tone of voice, my rules, my guidelines, and then I can just use that as kind of my own internal tool.
Perfect. Do you use AI agents, by the way, and you tested kind of automations on AI still now?
I use AI agents a little bit, but not to the extent I'd like. I just don't have the capacity to figure it out, and I'm very much like a build it yourself kind of guy. I'm still watching some of my friends build very impressive things. I get access to those, but I'm not at the level I'd like to be to kind of build something super crazy. We work with different consultants and experts that can help us automate things when needed.
Okay. One underrated link building tactic.
I think the most underrated link building tactic is building linkable assets. If you look at sites like Exploding Topics by Brian Dean, he's scaled that to like a DR85 in 2 years just by building statistics pages. He took one strategy, created 400 pages, and the entire site's built on that.
Nice.
Linkable assets like statistics pages, tools, calculators. They're so easy to make with AI now. And it's really the only way. I have some pages that have statistics. They have 1,100 referring domains. If I had to buy that from my own agency, I would need to be Bill Gates. Like you can't buy that kind of volume. But if you need to compete in a competitive industry, that's really the only way to is to earn them.
Yes, very good. That's true. That's true. One content type that converts best in 2025.
There's no one content type that kills it in SEO. It's really about what's your goal.
Yes,
that's like the number one business question I always have. What is for a client or for an SEO? It's like, what are you trying to do? And an SEO that matters the most. Like if you want to rank for a best keyword, well, it might be a listicle. If it's services page, it might be the copy on your homepage or service page. So it really, you just reverse engineer what's already working, and then you mimic that.
Okay, got it. One common SEO myth that needs to die.
The one SEO myth that needs to die is SEO is dead, because it can never die. Because people are always going to be searching for information.
Yes.
And whatever company serves it, Google, OpenAI, whatever, I don't care which one it is, they're going to have to serve some kind of information. And there's never going to be a human deciding it. That means there's going to be some sort of algorithm. If there's an algorithm, we can manipulate it. They're going to have to recommend 3 sneaker brands. If you run a sneaker brand, you can make it your sneaker brand that gets recommended.
Perfect. Very good answer. One event or community that changed your career.
The one event that changed my life the most is probably the Chiang Mai SEO conference. I've been coming here since 2017. I met most of my best friends, people I can almost call family to this day. Here, this is the city I live in now. And I get to hang out with cool people like you every year. There's 800 of them showing up every year.
Perfect.
And it's the highlight of my year.
Right. Very good. Very good. Okay. One piece of advice you'd give yourself when you were 20 years old, or maybe 12 when you started.
The one piece of advice I would give to myself at 20 or 12 is the one piece of advice I give everyone else. And I've been telling it to myself for the last 16 years as well, is focus on one thing. Do one thing. You will get really good at it, and you will get the best results. Don't juggle 2 businesses, because you're going to do a mediocre job with both of them.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, I have ADHD, so I need 7 projects. But if I ever really want to make it, I should probably stick to one.
This is what changed the whole game when I came here, and so I was doing too much things, wearing many hats, and then I decided, no, let's do one by one. I have 5 plans. Okay, let's break it down into sub plans, make it down to the exact roadmap I want to follow, and let's do. I cannot do hyper threading. I have to be very much. So when I learned this in 2021, after that I started to grow.
Yeah, and you can break this down into anything, right? So in my case, I'm looking at it first like, okay, what's my real goal? If it's just money, then just do the agency. Focus on the agency. Get rid of the other businesses. Yes. But you can take it further in terms of like, if my goal is to grow the agency, I need to choose one marketing strategy and go all in. I can't do a little bit of email and then go speak at a conference and then do ads. You choose one, you master it, you make it work, and then you get the results from that. Or in SEO as well, like, okay, what's my number one bottleneck? Is it links or is it content? If it's content, build a content farm, like the repeatable system you can do. If it's links, you only do link building. What is the bottleneck? What's holding you back from your results?
Yes, very well. What's it with your content creation? I used to see a lot of your reels, which was on when you were driving in the car. So what's your take on content creation, and what have you been doing in content creation?
I think in this era, content creation is like one of the most valuable things you can do. I did it for a while. I fell off for a bunch of reasons. One, doing too many things, conferences. So I'm organizing conferences. I don't have time to do it as much. The second part is just good systems and habits for it. So for me, like I tied it to going to the gym for a long time, and then I got injured. I wasn't going to the gym. I just fell off from that. So I do think in this kind of AI era, building that personal brand is very important. And it's a good way to kind of put yourself out in the industry, and it opens up a lot of doors.
But I used to, it was a small nugget of knowledge. I think 2 to 3 minutes you would come online when you were driving back home. I remember. I have a very sharp memory. But the thing is that it was a very good piece of information. I think you should get back to it. Even from that, we kind of thought of that we could do something like this at our agency. My co-founder is trying to do something like that. The idea came from that kind of thing. So you should get back to that. Okay, moving on. One mindset shift SEOs need to do to stay relevant in AI era.
The one mindset shift SEOs need to get in their heads is that there's always a reason for everything.
Yeah.
Like, if your site drops, there's a reason for it. You need to figure out what it is. I feel like a lot of people chase new strategies and just kind of throw stuff at the wall, but they don't really analyze what's working, why, or like run tests. It's statistically insignificant. It's like, I feel like I tried this and it didn't work, so I'm going to do this thing instead. It's like, did you really try hard enough? Like, if your DR30 site competing with a DR70, you build 50 links, that's not going to do anything. That doesn't mean links don't work. Or if you built links and they were garbage, of course they didn't work. So it's really like coming down to the root and trying to understand what is working, why it's working, and how do you know when things are not working, which comes down to the testing side of things.
Are you the guy who was good at sales, or are you the back end guy? So do you do the client calls? Do you handle the clients? Do you go on the sales call? Are you the one?
Yeah, I do all of the sales side, and I do like the big picture strategies.
Sales.
So it's very much like, if a client comes to us, I figure out whether we can help them, how we can help them, what's missing from their site. So kind of like a head of SEO perspective, or like when it came to the AI ranking approach, I developed that and I sell it to the clients, but I'm not day to day involved with the operations. So when we come up with a new concept, I will figure it out, and I will be doing it myself. Like, I've been doing all the listicles and stuff. And then once it's kind of proven, then it goes off to the operations team and I get out of that process.
In the start of the podcast, we discussed about the experimental side of things. I think that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for the time being, I'm still doing those listicles because it's a new thing. Yeah. And I really I enjoy the experimentation, seeing this work, this didn't, and I'm very hands-on with it. But now I'm at the point where I'm ready, like, get me out of this so I can focus on other things.
Okay. How big is this agency, Smash Digital? How many team members?
We have about 20 people full-time, and the different partners and kind of white label partners we work with as well.
And what kind of clients are basically you dealing with? Like, is it the enterprise? Is it local businesses? Is it companies like kind of airports, maybe, whatnot?
So with Smash Digital, we work with a lot of different types of businesses. I'd say SaaS is a very common one, e-commerce. Basically, the key thing for us is real brands, real respectable businesses. Like, if you're doing something shady, you're probably not a good fit for us, because a real site will never link to you. So that's the key thing. We also work mostly with established businesses. Okay. So the companies that have already kind of seen some results with SEO before, but really not scaled it, or maybe they've been hit before, so they know SEO is worth it, and they also know, what they've been doing so far doesn't work. When we work with kind of the smaller companies, SEO takes a long time, and we don't like people coming in for 3 months and kind of, betting their savings on it. We want someone who's like, okay, Karl, I understand what you're talking about. I believe you, and I'm willing to take a bet on this, and I can commit to it for the long term, because those clients get the best results.
The roadway have to be longer.
If they stick it out for 9 to 12 months, they basically never cancel, because then they get the results. Exactly. But if they're already kind of on and off, they're not sure, then I just say no.
And do you do iGaming?
No.
No, you don't do iGaming.
No.
Okay. And what's your kind of average ticket size, if you're comfortable telling you?
We don't really have an average. So we have clients who spend 30K a month. We have clients who spend 2.4K a month.
Okay.
So like, some of the local companies will still help because we're doing the work anyway, and they can easily benefit from it. But then we also work with some of the biggest brands in the world who can scale their budgets much more aggressively.
And it's just SEO and related services. You're not doing full stack, kind of PPC and all that.
We only do SEO. Live and breathe.
Very, very good. And I think that's all. Thank you so much. How can audience reach to you? What is the best way to, if someone wants to maybe talk to you or maybe get to know you, how's the best way? Yeah, it depends why you want to reach out. If you want to get some help with your SEO, hit up Karl@smashdigital.com. Send me an email. And the same for the conferences. Karl@SEO Estonia for anything related to that. Sponsor, speaking, tickets, questions, whatever. And then Karl at Chiang Mai SEO Conference for
the Chiang Mai SEO conference.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And just for the audience, tell them to watch this podcast and tell them that I'm the best guy you ever met. Okay?
I can't do ads. I crack under pressure.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching till the end. It's the best one we've got. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking till the end of the conversation with us. We hope you found as much value as we did while creating it. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Honestly, each like and subscribe help us keep going. It keeps us motivated to make such content which is filled with insights and valuable knowledge for you. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Anything you would like to tell us about the podcast? Whom do you want to see in the next podcast? And what kind of questions do you want to ask? And hey, just don't keep the conversation with yourself. Share this podcast with at least one person, can be a friend, colleague, or a family member, or anyone you think can benefit from learning something valuable or getting a fresh perspective. After all, one conversation, one perspective can truly change someone's life. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode of the Business Playbook by Gundeep.